Hello, ume. Samahani.
Samahani, siwezi kufika huko. Ndio, nilikuwa tayari njiani.
Halafu mgonjwa wa dharura alikuja.
After I'm gone, make sure he learns Chinese. Teach him everything, okay? And I wish sincerely that your dreams can come true. And you'll become a fine doctor one day and have your own life and romance.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Good morning from wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to News Check on this, the 3rd of February 2026. Our keen focus this morning, especially for the first hour, will be keenly focusing on what transpired yesterday on the Kenyan roads, especially here in the capital, especially that tiff between matatus and the border borders. Yesterday we even saw the National Police Service was forced to come out to at least restore sanity on the roads. We want to understand where did it go wrong and how can it be resolved, because these two key sectors contribute largely to the country's gross domestic product. That is the focus will be in the first hour. The second hour, given that tomorrow will be the 4th of February 2026, our focus will be on World Cancer Day. We'll be talking to an oncologist on that particular issue, but for now we want to focus on the transport sector. On the diary, we have a lot happening today across the country. We'll start here in the capital, where President William Ruto in just a few will be presiding over the launch of the National Electric Mobility Policy. Our very own Alan Oko is covering that particular bit and will tell us more as and when the president will come. Parliament will be focusing on key committees that will be taking place. Kevin Washira is on that particular bit. Also, the Kenya Meteorological Department is currently holding a forum in the capital on the country's climate outlook. Jail is following on that particular story. That is on our diary and other stories making headlines at this hour. So talk to us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 and at Abdiaziz Hashim 2. Let me get to introduce my guests this morning. We start off to my left. We have Lucy Washuka Madhenge. She is a member of the Federation of Public Transport Sector. Lucy, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, viewers.
Next to Lucy, we do have the chairman, that is David Kiaria of a Road Safety Association. Chairman, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
And also a representative from the National Police Service, especially from the Regional Traffic Enforcement. He is Commissioner Joseph Chirchir. Karibu sana, Commissioner.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
And maybe, Commissioner, it is very fair to start with you, given that you spearhead the Nairobi Regional Enforcement Offices there. Tell us, paint a picture for us what transpired yesterday on our roads.
Actually, what transpired yesterday is that the matatu industry players were on their normal duties. All of a sudden, they started, a group of people started blocking the roads. It came to us as a surprise because on Friday we had sat down, they had their grievances. We met on Friday, that was on 29. We decided that we meet as stakeholders within Nairobi industry, and we had a meeting, a fruitful meeting, and we agreed as in principle that we suspend the strike. But yesterday around 9, a group of unruly people started blocking the roads. I don't want to say it was all the matatu people that went on strike, but a group of people on border stopped the vehicles on the road, switched off their ignitions, and they fled off with the keys. Others joined shortly. We were able to move in. We talked to the respective matatu SACCO's chairman, and they were able to to come in. They joined us with they joined hands with us, and we were able to normalize the operations within 2 or 3 hours. But of course, there were a group of matatus which intentionally blocked the roads. We were able to arrest a number of them, and they have appeared before court this morning. That was
Thank you for that particular update. That meeting you're referring to, I do remember even the Nairobi regional commander was there, and when they assured, but David, that was not the situation. On Sunday you say there is no demos, and then on Monday you see that particular situation. What is your take on it?
I think as this gentleman,
yes.
the commissioner is saying, already there was a meeting, they have agreed, but you see, there are other people who come in again. And this is the sector, this is the Matatu sector, whereby we always say we need proper discipline. This discipline is the same which is culminating to the many accidents you see, if there is no that discipline. If they cannot listen to the authority, then who else will be listened to? Even if they have issues, the issues must be discussed. You cannot block the road for other people, other road users, because of your own interest. So this is not something which should be taken lightly, and we must condemn it. Yes.
Okay. Lucy, your take on it?
Yes. As a member of the Federation of Public Transport, which comprises of 9 associations, I would say we were not on strike because we had thought that a dialogue would be better for all of us as Kenyans, because the people, why the demonstration was coming, they said it was because matatus were being burnt, and of course we have seen those things happen. But there is a law in this country, there is also dialogue. So the most appropriate thing was for us, the Matatu people, and the border and the government to sit down and find solutions. And as I said, there is a law in this country, so there is a law that protects our properties, and that is why we went to talk with the government so that we can chart the way forward. Because in transport sector, border is part of the transport sector. So in short, we were not part of the strike.
And indeed, if you're just joining us, we're focusing on the transport sector. We do have key stakeholders from Matatu as well as Boda in just a few. I will introduce here, we do have Dennis Cheng, the chairman, who is the eminent Boda Transcorp SACCO and Council of SACCOs Kenya. We're sorting you in just a few. I will give you a chance to talk. So the question here on social media platforms we want to ask you is that the question of the day, is there sanity on our roads? Reach out to us on our KBC Channel 1 platforms. We'll be sampling some of your views as this session continues. But I want to go back to you, Commissioner. From that particular meeting that you had with all the key stakeholders from Boda, from Matatu, the message was one: there is no strike come next week, but we have seen it happening. Now, how will the National Police Service, especially your department from traffic, will be responding? Because they've said every Monday this is what is going to happen.
First of all, following our Friday's meeting, we have had several meetings from last year with all the stakeholders in the industry. We have had meetings with Boda chairman, the national chairman, the sub-county chairmen within Nairobi. We have held meetings alongside national safety, that is NTSA, Nairobi Enforcement Team. And our call was the management of traffic within the city. We want to make it clear that those also in Boda industry are making a genuine and legal business. We have people who are in digital transport, like in Bolt, Uber. We have Boda who are genuine. They are fully registered within the SACCOs. They are operating within the laws. They have insurance. They have driving license. They are compliant in all manner. But when an accident occurs, one, it is to be investigated. It doesn't mean that when an accident is involving a Boda and a Matatu, the Boda is always on the wrong, or the Matatu is also on the wrong. But we are saying, give us time, we investigate. We will come out and know who was actually to blame for the accident. If we go by the rule of the law, we will be able to ascertain who actually was on the wrong. even we have matatus who are wrong, they are also going on wrong side. Some even don't have papers. But what we are saying is, this country is governed by law. Everybody should operate within the law, and all of us should come sit down and we follow the law to the letter. Yes.
And David, we do have regulations under the current constitution and the various acts that do guide the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA. We even have the Michuki rules. Have we abandoned those rules as well?
They were abandoned a long time ago. In fact, 6 years down the line, these rules are not properly followed. And that can tell you, because you can even see the numbers of accident every year, what is happening. But one thing I want to talk about the boda. Matatu industry used to be even worse than the boda. But when proper regulations were put, then we saw a lot of change, because we were able to remove some criminals who are pretending to be working with the matatus. You remember there were gangs like in Amungiki, they were all over the road. It was very easy to remove them when it was very clear that you cannot drive a matatu or be a conductor if you don't have a certificate of good conduct. That is how these criminals were removed. Where did they go? Most of them went to the boda. And that is where you see we've been trying very much to make sure that the boda work in like the matatus. They have the associations, they have what, but it is very difficult. We have so many associations coming from the boda, because most don't want to follow the law. The day the government will say and put it very clear that circle, the members must be known, every rider must have just that simple document, the certificate of good conduct, will be able to control the boda.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance. I'm coming to you, don't worry. Lucy, we're talking about even the matatu sector. Yesterday, you inconvenienced millions and millions of people who use those transports at the end of the day. One, even if you're saying your SACCO did not participate in the strike, the roads were blocked. So how do we resolve that issue?
Thank you. I said we have laws governing this land, and if one is found blocking the law, he should be arrested and face the consequences of the law as well, because if you are striking and there's freedom of picketing, it doesn't give you the freedom to also interfere with my own freedom. So I would say those who blocked the roads were criminals, and that is why there is a law in this land. That is why I had the commissioner say they were arrested yesterday, and most of them have faced they're in the courts of law today to answer to the charges. So I would say if you want really to picket, put your vehicle in your parking area and don't interfere with the other road users, because the road it's supposed to be for everyone. It is not particularly for the matatu, for the PSV, it is for all of us. So if you think you are grieved or you have something to tell the government, make a good statement, put your vehicle at home, don't bring it on the road. And if you bring it on the road, don't block the roads, because the roads do not belong to matatus only, they belong to all of us as Kenyans. So I would say those who block the roads were criminals.
Dennis, now you have the opportunity. You do have members under your SACCO. David is saying here there are too many SACCOs. And to harmonize the boda sector, what is missing? Because the matatus are accusing your members of when an accident happens, they don't allow even the police officers to come and investigate the matter. They will let those vehicles.
Okay, asante sana. Number one, matatu wanasema sisi ndio tunachoma magari. Which ni wrong. Manake mimi ndio mtu wa kwanza kuweka mkakati ya kuchunga magari za watu. Na evidence ziko, nimesaidia magari mingi. Unajua matatu inaendeshwa vibaya. Vile chairman amekubali. Kuna baadhi zinaendeshwa vibaya. Na so long as imegonga mtu, unakuta raia ndio wanamobiliziana. Wanasema gari chomwe. Niko na evidence. Yenye watatu hawana evidence ya kumaanisha sisi ndio tunachoma gari. Kwa nini wanakiu sisi na serikali pia inasema sisi ndio tunachoma gari? Unakuta any accident na kitu yoyote kifanyika kwa barabara, mtu wa kwanza kufika hapo ni bodaboda. Na vile tabia zetu, tukiona mwenzetu amesimama, lazima tusimame tujue shida ni gani. Naye sasa mtu wa bodaboda yeye amesimama pale kusaidia. Lakini raia wanakuja wanagang up, wanasema gari ichomwe. Yenye reflector sasa ndio inakuwa mingi, inasemekana ni bodaboda. Hiyo ni number 1. Number 2, mbona serikali wanasema wameangalia gari zenye zinachomwa? Na wale members wetu, wale wako saizi, mguu zao zimehangiwa kwa hospitali. Wale members wetu wale sahi wako kwa muchari. Wale members wetu wale saizi wanaenda Masizi kuzika members. Na mbona serikali ijaangalia na uchunguzi? Sisi kama Council of SACCOs, uchunguzi yetu tunapoteza watu riders pamoja na customers wetu around 20 per day. Yenye hiyo rate iko juu na serikali imenyamaza, haiongelelei. Hata ukimwi yenyewe haiui watu kwa hiyo rate. Hata cholera haiui watu kwa hiyo rate. Lakini sisi members wetu wanakufa rate ya juu pamoja na customer yenye tunabeba, na hakuna mtu anaongelelea. Hawa wanaongelelea mambo na kuchoma gari yenye au mwenyewe ni responsibility ya serikali kufanya uchunguzi, kuangalia ni nani anachoma gari na hii tabia kuchoma gari imetoka wapi. Manake serikali iko na resources na iko na kila kitu ya kufanya kazi yake. Number 2, sisi kama Council of SACCOs, serikali imepotea njia kuregulate hii sector ya bodaboda. Sababu gani? Wanaongelelea mambo na association, lakini SACCO unaenda una register. Serikali imesema tuingie kwa SACCO. SACCO ukienda kuregister member, anajua member ametoka kwa stage gani. Hiyo ni number 1. Member akienda kuregister kwa SACCO, lazima julikane ametoka kwa stage gani. Lazima chairman wa stage aambiwe huyu member ni wako real, ndio registration inaanza. Na kwa hii registration sisi tumeweka mkakati, kuna QR code, kuna badge, kuna plate yenye member inakuwa nayo, kuna reflector. Reflector kama ni number 1, badge yake pia inaonesha number 1. Plate yake pia inaonesha number 1. Na hii QR code ukiscan inatoa details mpaka mtu wa kwao, mpaka mali ametoka, mpaka stage, mpaka jina ya stage, mpaka jina ya chairman ya stage, mpaka namba ya chairman wa stage. Lakini serikali imekataa kutumia SACCOs, wanatumia association, of which association yeye iko huko juu. Lakini SACCO wamekataa kucooperate na SACCO. Naye wakicooperate na SACCO, wawachana na mambo na associations. Sisi hatupigi association, hakuna association tunapiga. Sisi ile kitu tunasema, wacha upatie nafasi ya SACCO, SACCO chairman, SACCO leadership. Mkutano yote ya serikali ikiitwa, inatakikana itwe SACCO chairmen, si association. Manake association yeye anarogota, anaenda anatoa ati ni ward chairman ama county chairman, lakini huu county chairman ni nani? SACCO lazima kuwe registered chairman, ofisi yake yote lazima ijulikane.
Okay.
Unaona? Sasa wakikuja na hiyo njia, tutatofautiana na wale wakora, wale wako ndani yetu. Na reinforcement ianze kwa chief. Chief lazima identify. For example, kama hapa town, sisi tunafanya kazi na chief, OCS na OCPD. Unaona? Pamoja na DO, pamoja na DC, pamoja na AC. Unaona? Na kwa nini tunafanya hivyo? Tumeidentify zile stages, manake governor pia alitupatia ma stages. Lakini hizi stages alitupatia, bado hajatupatia hata barua kuonesha hizo stages inatakikana tulipe. Manake tukue recognized. Tuko tofauti, hakuna tofauti na ule ako katikati ya gari na ule ako kwa stage. Unasikia? Kwa hivyo ile kitu yenye sisi kama council ya SACCO tuna blame serikali, ni serikali ndiye imelala. Manake kila mkakati imewekwa. Umesikia ile taratibu sisi kama council ya SACCO tumeweka. Okay. Tumeidentify, ndio ukuje kwa council ya SACCO lazima tuapprove SACCO yako iko na certificate, iko na KRA pin na iko na account. Kwa hivyo ni kitu yenye inakuwa run. Kama wewe uko na certificate peke yake na hairaniwi, hiyo ni ukora. Manake tunataka ile kitu ina run. Na sako ni savings and credit yenye bado tunasaidia members. Hatutaki members wetu waende wachukue loan kwa wengine. Tunawaleta pamoja, wana save hizi pesa pamoja, wanakopa hii pesa inawasaidia na familia yao, at the same time tunawanunulia mpaka pikipiki, wanalipa kwa rate ya chini.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Commissioner, paint a picture for us, because I'm sure you have seen so many incidences on that particular road. Where here Dennis is saying that it is not them. It is the public that are contributing to those vehicles being late. Give us examples that you have witnessed. Is it the border people, or is it the public who are lynching those vehicles?
First of all, TEN is trying to shift the blame to others. The issue is that we had a meeting with them on 29 September last year. We agreed that we rolled the registration of border borders into SACCOs. The county government was on board that they bring their documentations, they be allocated stages so that they operate. And the issue that they are talking of, the barcode, the KRA bin, that is what we agreed. It is the national government that we are telling them, please, can you do A, B, C, D so that we are able to move together? They have been slow in mobilizing their members to register. Because one, we have to create a portal within the NDSA, and then we agree with the county government also to take them on board. They be allocated stages, and they be allocated those numbers that he's talking about, that every sub-county leadership border to operate within their area, so that each sub-county has their own leadership. They have unique barcode number that he's talking about, the uniform and the area of operation. So they are here to comply fully so that we roll out the whole program. They are in the process, and the documentations are not coming forthwith, so that we are able to implement what we are saying. On the status of the accidents, I might not be able to tabulate the numbers here, but accidents we are always investigating. You will agree with me that majority of the borders countrywide, they don't have a driving license. They write, and if you don't have a driving license, meaning you don't comply with the rules and regulations of the road. They drive even on the wrong side. They disregard the traffic lights. This they contribute majorly on the accidents. So, but I don't want to shift the blame, because there are those also who are compliant and they are professional in their work. So it is an individual. Well, majority of them are involved in accidents, and wherever they are involved in accidents, they don't want to follow up because of the documentations. So at times they fled from the scene. But that does not mean that we are blaming border industry as a whole, but those are individual responsibilities. That is the status.
Because even some of those SACCO members from the border sector accusing even the matatus, some of them don't have papers, their licenses have expired. So instead of shifting blame, what should be done?
But one thing you should understand, I think my friend should admit, because we are not only talking on matatus, they have banned even private vehicles. We have seen a border even snatching a mobile from a police officer. So it's seen. Your members need to be disciplined. That is a fact. And let's not bring blame game of that it is the common mwananchi who goes and ban. Mostly are the border riders. That one is in record. And what I said is this, that we have very many criminals pretending to be border riders. We have the good SACCOs, you'll find we have genuine border riders. But I still insist, in the genuine, there are criminals in them who want to make sure that they ban that vehicle. Before they ban the vehicle, they will steal from the public. They will steal, if you have a computer in your vehicle, they steal all mobile phones before they ban those vehicles. Those are criminals. And we are not calling them riders. And that is why we're saying, if they can agree to make sure that every rider is properly registered, and you do what you call self-regulation, that which was done by the Matatu people, they were able to remove that element of criminals on their sector. Today we don't have those criminals in Matatu sector. These criminals went to the border. That is a fact.
How can we verify that?
And I said it is very clear. Let every rider, let them have whatever the circle. Let them make sure that every rider has a license. Every rider is trained. Every rider has a compliance certificate for these, what do you call it? The
Good conduct.
The good conduct. That certificate of good conduct, a criminal cannot get it because you get it yearly. And when you know that next year you need that, you will make sure that you are disciplined because immediately you are involved in criminal activities and your fingerprints have been taken, there is no way you will get that certificate.
Okay.
That will be the best way to remove these criminals in the industry. But accept that those people who ban, they are not the common Monanchi. They are the people with the border. What you should tell us is that we now blame the members of the circles. But if you go into details, you will see that we have very many borders, but they are ridden by criminals. Yeah.
That we can't verify because even the police, until the police tells us these are criminals, these are not criminals. We wait for the National Police Service to declare
you
that.
don't need to know a criminal when the police officer have said, and you have seen them snatching even phones from a police officer.
We have seen those video clips, but let the police first of all ascertain if they are criminals or not. Lucy, we are talking about regulations here because we saw what happened with NTSA. I don't want to mention the Matatu Sacco they were dealing with last year. We saw them lining up at the inspection center. Should we be seeing the same for borders?
Actually, the first question would be, what is the entry point for a person to be a border rider? Do they have an entry point? Because as you see, we have so many borders coming in, even being brought as new for riding the motor, for becoming the public service a vehicle. But what is the entry point? Like us in the Matatu sector, you know, you cannot, when you bring your Matatu, it must go to the inspection. You must be registered in a SACCO or a company. You must have a driver and a conductor who have good conduct, NTSA badges. So what is the entry point for the motorbikers to become borders? Yes. There must be some entry point, and also we should also classify them in counties. And I want to give a very good example of the county where I come from, Kajiado. We have never had those issues in Kajiado because what we do is that we have meetings with the border chairman every stage. We do them with the sub-county administrators, with the OCS, with the OCPDs. And even if there is an accident, it is actually termed as an accident. It is not termed as into somebody comes to burn your vehicle, somebody comes to start beating you up. And because one misfortune that happens is that once you get into an accident with a border rider, whether he's a real border rider or a fake one, you will find about 60 or 70 of them come and surround you. So by their numbers, you become intimidated. They'll start harassing you. Before it comes to motor vehicle kuchomwa, the harassment that you get. So I wonder, and because the chairperson is here, I wonder why, when an accident occurs, why do border riders come and surround you, maybe 100 of them, and they start harassing you because of that particular accident. And maybe that particular time it was not even me as a driver, not even a Matatu. I may not have been on the wrong, maybe, or I may be on the wrong, but does that give them the opportunity or the authority to come and harass the other road user simply because they have come an accident? Because accidents come, and actually that is why they are called accidents. So if I happen to get into an accident with another motor vehicle, I'll not find the other drivers coming to rally behind that particular car, or you're not finding the Matatu people coming to rally behind that Matatu which had an accident and start harassing them. So there must be change, and there must be some entry point so that all of us are comfortable riding on our roads, driving on our roads as Kenyans.
Chairman, maybe we stop shifting blames because both sides even the National Police Service will tell you, both sides are equally to blame here. But what should be done in that particular border sector? Are you ready to be regulated? Because the question is regulations.
Yes, tayari sisi kama council ya SACCO tumeweka mkakati yenye tumekuelezea. Council ya SACCO tuna identify SACCOs yenye imekuwa registered. At the same time, SACCO tumeweka mkakati kama member anakuja kufanya registration, lazima ajue hiyo member ametoka kwa stage gani. Ana rely na chairman wa stage. Sasa ndiye anakubalika kuingia kwa SACCO. Number 2, hakuna, tumeweka mkakati uwezi register kwa SACCO mbili. Manake serikali pia sahi wameamuka. Manake wamekuja na hiyo mkakati ya nini ya system. Hii system yao tayari tumesapewa sisi kama SACCO. Ina work. Na hapo tunaona serikali at least wameamuka kidogo, lakini bado hawajamuka. Manake hiyo system kama una DL
in terms of kuamka, unataka waamke aje?
Ndio hiyo nakuja. Kama una DL huwezi ingia kwa system. Kama umeingia kwa nini nyingine, kama uko kwa SACCO nyingine huwezi kubaliwa kuingia kwa system. Ile kitu tunasema kama SACCOs, kama Council of SACCOs Kenya mzima, tunasema tunataka serikali ianze ku-identify SACCOs. Ikisa identify SACCO, reinforcement ianze. Na inaanza chairman wa stage inatakikana pewe power. Manake chairman wa stage ndiye anajua hiyo area, anajua wale wako kwa hiyo area. Na kitu ikitendeka kwa hiyo area, ni chairman wa stage, hizo stages wa hapo ndio watatuelezea hii ilitendeka haji, ilianza namna gani. Unasikia? At the same time, bado blame game sisi tunasema, bado mimi kama chairman. Kwa nini hii sekta yetu ya bodaboda unakuta mtu ameenda kafanya uhalifu Kilifi, ama ameenda kafanya uhalifu uko Turkana, lakini sisi bodaboda zote tunabeba hiyo kitu? Kwa nini? Na sisi pia ni wenye biashara, tunafanya biashara kama wengine, na sisi pia tuko na familia. Mpaka sasa jina yetu imekuwa, huwezi jivunia wewe ni mtu wa boda. Jina yetu imeharibika kabisa. Kwa hivyo sisi ile kitu tunasema kama Council of SACCO, tafadhali serikali ianze kurecognize SACCOs. Na ikifanya kazi na SACCOs, unaona wakati Mchuki alikuja, alianza na SACCOs, si associations. Na hizi SACCO ilikuwa lazima ukue na magari 30 ndio kuwe register kwa SACCO, na kuna sheria waliweka, na hiyo ndio ilifanya matatu ikaregulatiwa vizuri. Na alafu sasa wakakuja wakalala. Sekta ya pikipiki pia inatakikana hivyo. Mtu akinunua pikipiki, hii pikipiki inaenda wapi? Hiyo ni number 1. Mtu asiende kununua pikipiki individual. Kama mtu asiende kununua pikipiki na ijulikani mali hii pikipiki inaenda. Kama anaenda kufanya naye biashara yake private, iandikwe ni private. Na hii private itaingia kwa SACCO ama itaingia kwa SACCO. Manake kuna wale pia wanafanya wako na private. Na private akivaa reflector yake utatafautishaje na rider na hii pikipiki private? Unaona mali sida iko. Kwa hivyo ni serikali kuja na mkakati vizuri kutu identify boda na wale wanaendeza pikipiki, wale wanaendeza pikipiki ke private. Hiyo mkakati ikikuja na sasa reinforcement sasa ikuje, ndio sasa wale walifu wataondoka, na sisi kama vile sisi tunafanya kazi ya bodaboda kwa njia yenye natakekana, tutabaki tukifanya kazi.
Okay, yes. Commissioner, because you see there are millions of Nairobians here currently even watching you right now. So are you going to call for another meeting with the Nairobi Regional Commander to talk to some of these members once again to prevent what is going to happen on Monday, God willing?
First of all, let me correct the chairman here that serikali ichalala, serikali ati imeamuka. What is there is that it is them that they are being channeled now that can you register? Can you have these bottle particulars in your bottle? So now we are trying to put them into systems so that they come on board as a players of the transport industry. Number 2, we as the National Police Service, we are doing our best. We have organized with various county governments in training the Potagota youths You know, it is easy to venture into border business because you go to a dealer, he gives you the motorbike, the next day you are on the road, you are carrying your billion passenger. It doesn't involve a lot of things. Now, we are trying to sensitize them that it is necessary for you to have a driving license. We are organizing with the National Youth Service and our counterparts, the OCSs on the ground, at the county level, even most of the governors, we have embroidered them. And we are currently we are undertaking a training for the border guys within their counties. We want to regulate them. We are always sensitizing them. We are always on the roads, stopping them, telling them it is necessary. It is for your own safety to carry the reflector, because during the night you might be crushed because you are a moving dark object. You don't have that reflector. You don't have an helmet. The moment that you are involved in an accident, your body is not protecting you. If you don't have that helmet, directly you will get severe injuries. So this is what we are now undertaking. Madam has asked, what is the entry of somebody into border industry? One, you must be an adult with your ID, so that it qualifies you to obtain a driving license. And then after the driving license, now we are now regulating, like in the public industry, matatu. To be a public service driver, you must attain the age of 25 and above. You must have experience of at least 1 year, so that it qualifies you for that class of a matatu driver. So this is what we are doing now with the matatu industry. We are sitting down, we are telling them now, can you register? After registering, can we put them into circles? Can we put them into regions? Can we put them into sub-counties? Where now the sub-county chairman will be knowing these people. They will be registering through the SACCO. So it is for them, for the SACCO, to do their own vetting before submitting the particulars for registration. The other issue that we were asking, we are engaging with the stakeholders daily. We even have a meeting with your president, I think around Thursday or Friday. We are here to confirm. So we are consulting always. It is a continuous process. It is only that this matatu strike, and I don't want to say it, you have heard Madam saying they were not involved. So it is an individual within the matatu industry who are trying to manipulate and say, let us stop. And I have said before, they are stopping somebody's matatu, somebody's SACCO. They turn off the ignition key and they run away with it. So this person is being forced to leave the vehicle on the road so that they paralyze the movement of others. And that is a criminal act. I have said a number of them we have arrested yesterday, and they have appeared in court this morning. Like the vehicle that they were trying to cite, that matatu was banned. People were arrested. People are in court. We are not saying these are matatu or these are members of public. Of course, they are members of public. We are not saying they belong to a border SACCO. But it's an individual. They are responsible for this act. And the case is, they have been taken in court. So if they will allow, if they will allow us, give us that nafasi to charge the individual, then we have law and order across the country. Thank you.
Because that is what even the public wants, David. Aside from, because you see, like the border sector has over 1 million or 2.5 million people who are using those borders, and they have passengers. You have matatus there, which are so many in this country. What about the customer needs?
That is one thing, and another thing, and I want Kidogo to correct my chair here. Let us not keep on blaming the government. These people have been given a very good chance. Even he has admitted that in the system, you cannot register when you're in another circle. So you have already been given that. Now it is you to make sure, as their chair, you organize them. You don't expect, again, the government to be there following you on what you're doing. Even when the matatu, those days I used to be the matatu industry. When the circles were given, it was all over now the people to organize themselves. So now organize your team, because the government is ready to work with you. Let us not keep on blaming the government, because one thing you should understand, we lost more than 1,920 last year, Buddha.
Yes, it's true.
The number is very high. That is a very big number. So we must reduce these numbers. And remember, when discipline is not there, accidents continue happening.
Yes.
When Michuki just said a driver must have a uniform and his picture there, we reduce these accidents.
It's true.
Because of what you call discipline. And what we lack even on our road is that discipline. So if the Buddha riders are properly disciplined, automatically the criminal element will just get out completely. So it is your work. Let us not blame the government. The other thing, I want to put it very clear. We have associations of the matatus, and she has said very clear. The association, there are about 9. It's only one association which is bringing all this confusion. That should be understood by the commandants here, that it is only one association. All the other 9 associations, because they formed what you call federation. Now they are all in federation. Now it is only one whereby you should call their leadership, because it is Matatu Owners Association. And we have to clarify that. They are the ones who are calling for this strike. This strike is not supposed to be there, because the government is ready to listen to them. There is law to be followed. So what I would urge is that the government should deal with that particular association. Because when we see people's properties destroyed, and there is no problem, the picketing is allowed in this country. So if they want to continue, let them put their vehicles in their houses, but not to come on the road to disturb other people. There are other people who are doing other businesses. All people are not matatu nini. Don't depend on these matatus. So the best thing, if they want to do a very good strike, let them put their vehicles in their houses. Nobody will ask them. You cannot be forced to carry people. So, and with that, we will see this madness coming to an end. Hearing stories that every Monday we'll be having chaotic in Nairobi, we are not ready for that. So the police should act, and act seriously. That association must be called. The leaders must be called, let them say what they want, and if they want to continue with their strike, it's allowed. Let them put their vehicles in their houses.
Okay. You said you're many, you do have representation, but I'm sure you annually come together as the Matatu circles and associations of this country. In that particular meeting, what do you discuss?
I come from the Federation, which is a FPTS, Federation of Public Transport Sector, which comprises of about 9 associations. There are still other associations that are being registered as of now, but every association has got its own membership from the circles and companies who are members by subscription every year.
But so do you meet with the other associations? Because you see, if you meet regularly, these are some of the concerns that could have been addressed there before it reaches where it has reached.
You see, because the chairpersons and secretary generals of each association is a member of the federation. And we have our own wall, we have our own meetings. So there is no one time that we sat down and talked about that we are going for Mugomo. What we did is that the other time I remember we went to see the IG, and we were almost all of us, except that one association whose their leaders didn't come. And we aired our grievances. Boda Boda was one of them. The Vijanas who collect money from our vehicles was another agenda as well. But what I am saying is that the federation is the apex body of the matatu sector. So if one association pulls itself out and calls for a strike, which has not been discussed by all of us, and we are in one war, we are in one WhatsApp group, we have not even discussed or said there is this problem, we need to handle it all. It has escalated, because for a problem, for us to go on strike, usually, is that we have tried to talk to the government, they've not listened. We have made appointments, they have not seen us. The other time we went to see the PS for transport, the same issues were discussed. But for us to get to a point of blocking the roads, that was not within us. Because I say we have our monthly meetings or quarterly meetings, and the associations themselves, they have their own members, membership. That is why you saw it was like a forced thing.
But Lucy, you see, we have been covering these incidents. They have been calling for strikes since last week, Monday. Since Monday to Sunday,
yes,
you did not even call for a meeting to discuss what will potentially happen this week.
We discussed within our wall, and we said the meeting, the Mugomo should not take place, because we have not explored all the ways through the government and ourselves. And we said, why did one association just take some writing and put it in groups that there's a Mugomo? So we have a chairman of the federation, we have a secretary of the federation, and we all said in the war, we are not supporting the Mugomo. It is not what discussed. We have not explored the avenues of do's and don'ts, or why we should, or why we shouldn't. We said, let us give dialogue a chance.
Okay. Now, do you have penalties for that particular SACCO that went to the streets? Because I'm sure you have regulations and rules that you follow.
The rules, we may not have penalties for a particular SACCO, because that was an association which called their members to go on the road and block the road. But what I am saying is that there is a law in this land that governs all of us. That if I wake up today and I say I want to take my private vehicle and block the road because I'm aggrieved by the government, I should face the consequences, the laws of the land. Because what the most thing we could do is to remove that association from the apex body. But do we license that association? We don't. Do we license their vehicles? We don't. And what happened yesterday, I saw some vehicles, number plates were plugged.
Yes, by the police.
By the police?
Yes.
Which means they will have to face the NTSA. They will also have to face the traffic and other laws of the land, which also serves as a lesson to us that you cannot do everything. You cannot have all the freedom. You cannot just wake up and do what you want. And that is what I said from the beginning. If you really feel that your association or your SACCO in your route is aggrieved by the government, you don't want to go to work, park your vehicles in your house. Park your vehicles in the petrol stations and give the others a chance to, while you sort your differences.
I'm coming to you in just a few, but let me start with Commissioner. Commissioner, because we know the rules. When we want to picket, not only does not apply to matatus or border borders, you must serve the IG with a notice. Was the IG served with a notice yesterday?
No. What they did, they went to Tahir. They came to you people in the news that we will be going on strike, and that was it.
So there was no notice? There
was no notice, and if there were even any notice, where you are picketing is allowed in the law, yes, but you don't overstep the mandate of others. The way Madam has said, if you want to withdraw your services quietly. Let the others continue. But coming to infringe the right of others, imagine this is an highway, blocking Mombasa Nairobi highway, saying that my right my rights have been violated. But now you are violating the rights of many others who are innocent. They don't know even what your grievances are. But we are saying we will employ dialogue. Where I'm sure there have been the management of that SACCO has been called. I think there is a meeting or something like that. And what we are assuring Kenyans is that as the National Police Service, we will not allow anybody to come and block the routes as if there is no law in this country. Yes, there is a right of picketing, but right within your rights, not overstep the rights of others.
And now, Dennis, we're talking about the same question that I've just asked Lucy. If you do not want to be blamed, that blanket blame you're saying, do you SACCOs talk to each other?
Yes. Sisi tunaongea, ndio maana tunaitwa Council of SACCOs. Tuko na WhatsApp group yetu, tuko na meeting zetu, mali tunafanya meeting, tuko na ofisi yetu pia. Mali tunafanya meeting kama SACCOs. Tunaita leaders wa SACCOs, tunajadiliana. Tunaweka mkakati yenye commissioner vile amesema, maana hizi mkakati ya serikali inakuja. Sasa vile inakuja hivi, inakuja inatupata. The challenge yenye tunapata ni sisi kama council ya SACCO hatupati hizo nafasi ya kwenda kwa hizo mkutano. Yes, wana deal na association. Sasa sisi pia tumeweka hiyo mkakati, tunaita members wetu, tunatoa order lazima ukiregister member lazima ujue hii member ametoka wapi. Membership number ya member lazima ubaki na record yako yenye huyu member akienda afanye uhalifu ama mhalifu achukue reflector yake aende afanye uhalifu, itakuwa rahisi serikali kutofautisha uhalifu na huyu member wetu. Sasa hizo ndio zile mkakati yenye tumeweka. The challenge yenye nimekuelezea ni Sacco Council hawapewi nafasi kuattend hizo mkutano, kutoa idea yao na mpangilio yao vile wameweka.
Dakika moja kila mtu, because we are winding up this particular topic. Let me start with you, Lucy.
Thank you for hosting us today. My wish is that in future or in this country we will be able to feel safe on our roads. We will be able to leave our vehicles at home and ride on the public transport like many other countries. That our children will be safe to use the public transport, and it calls upon us as the leaders and also the border riders that we should all come together and know this is our country, and let us know how to conduct the transport business together while still working with the government and following the laws of the day.
David?
Me, I want to tell Kenyans, first of all, to know that already in the month of January, we have lost 398 people. Just 1 month. We had about 854 accidents. That is only 1 month, whereby we are talking of 398. I want to tell Kenyans, that is lives lost. Let us be careful. Let us, all of us, agree to follow the law. All these accidents have happened because of very simple mistakes, and we lose lives. So I want to tell Kenyans, make sure that you drive safely, follow the traffic rules because they are there, and when we all agree to follow the law, things will be good. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner?
Yeah, the National Police Service is there to protect everybody, to protect every life and property. The rules and regulations are there. It should be followed to the letter. Anybody going against the rules, know that there is no mercy for you. The law is always paramount, and this country is governed by rules and regulations. We will enforce the latter. Thank you.
Finally, Dennis?
Yes. Saidi yetu kama Council of SACCOs, sisi tunaambia tu members, tafadhali tufuate sheria. Kama unataka kufanya biashara ya pikipiki, enda uregister kwa SACCO. Enda utafute state chairman, welcome kwanza, akufanyie uchunguzi. Akisa kufanyia uchunguzi, tafuta SACCO, uregister kwa SACCO. Ukisa register kwa SACCO, kazi ya pikipiki ni kama hizi kazi zingine. Na ni vibaya sana kama tunapoteza maisha ya customers wetu wale tunabeba. Na sisi pia members wetu wale members wetu pia wanapoteza maisha. Na wanapoteza maisha juu ya kitu kidogo vile chairman amesema. Wacha tufuate sheria, ndio nchi yetu ikuwe nchi ya kufuata sheria. Langu la mwisho
kabisa.
Langu la mwisho, tafadhali kwa public, isikuwe goons wamefanya uhalifu wakivaa reflector, inasemekana ni watu wa bodaboda. Tafadhali. Watu wa bodaboda ni watu wako sawa, wanafanya biashara yao kawaida, na ni watu wako na familia, hawahusisi na mambo na goons. Wanasiasa pia, tafadhali, muache, siasa inakuja, muache kutumia pikipiki kwa njia ya uhalifu, alafu inasemekana ni sisi. Mnatuharibia jina. Mambo na reflector mwanasiasa hatutakubali. Reflector ni ya SACCO. Kama mwanasiasa anataka kukuja na reflector yake, aende kwa SACCO, apeane pesa pale kwa SACCO, SACCO print reflector, jina ya SACCO na namba ya membership ya huyo. Alafu na hiyo jina ya mwanasiasa. Isikue hatutakubali mwanasiasa kupeana reflector kwa wanabodaboda. Tunataka kutofautisha wale wahalifu wanasiasa watatumia na wale members wa Council of SACCOs.
Asante sana. That is Dennis Echeng, is the chairman, eminent Border Transcorp SACCO and the Council of SACCOs Kenya. Thank you for making time for us. Also, the Commissioner Joseph Chirchir, the Nairobi Regional Traffic Enforcement Officer. Thank you for making time. We also do have David Kiari, the chairman of Road Safety Association. Asante kwa muda wako. And then finally, Lucy Madhenga. She is a member of the Federation of Public Transport Sector. Thank you for making time. That has been the discussion this morning. We'll be keeping tabs on the developments. You've just heard from the Commissioner. There are many meetings to come, especially with the Boda Boda and Matatu leadership, especially with the National Police Service. Let's see how it will pan out. And Monday, we'll see what will transpire on our roads. That concludes our first session. On the second hour, we'll be focusing on World Cancer Day that will be marked tomorrow. So don't go too far.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes, Bonga Nagava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonga Nagava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
Why do we attract the wrong people? So why are we attracted to people who hurt us?
You've grown up in a very maybe abusive environment, and now you're looking for familiarity.
Your relationship in a work because the both of you want it to work.
They put in so much effort to get you, but when they get you, they stop.
So don't get into a relationship if it is not based on Christ himself.
Allow the word of God to bring light into every dark area of your life.
The show with Nairobi Fashion Week, a platform that creativity meets heritage.
And yet, even without a recent edition, Koroga still lives on. In the way we plan events, in the way the audiences show up, and the way Kenyan music and African talent are celebrated today.
Tonight we feature the one and only. He's a singer, songwriter, and of course, a performing artist. I'm talking about none other than Charisma.
Kuna trust issues, kila siku unanishuku. You disrespect my lover. Mama, my guy. Tonight I don't want no drama.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, wenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Born in March 1961, Cyrus Shakalaga Kwa Jirongo attended Mango High School between 1978 and 1981, and 10 years later became the chairman of the Kenya Football Club, AFC Leopards. Jirongo was only 31 years of age when he teamed up with the likes of Sam Nyamweya, Fred Kiptanui, and the current president, William Ruto, among others, to start the Youth for KANU 92, commonly known as YK 92, the youth movement that supported President Daniel Arap Moi's re-election bid in 1992, following the return of multipartyism. Despite the lobby group's influence in the re-election of President Daniel Arap Moi in 1992, it arguably became politically overzealous. For instance, Jirongo called for the resignation of Professor George Saitoti, which coincided with a walkout from Parliament by opposition MPs in protest. Jirongo's goose was already cooked. Moi claimed the organization had joined the opposition to undermine his presidency instead of choosing to defend his vice president, Professor George Saitoti. Jirongo's path to redemption through establishing a power base in Western Kenya would not last long, as he found himself on the wrong side of President Moi, eventually getting detained over possession of unlicensed guns after his houses were raided in search of firearms. Jirongo would become politically relevant once again in 1997 when he was elected Member of Parliament for Lugari constituency. 6 months into his post, he announced plans to run for presidency in the 2002 general election. In November 2001, Moi announced a major cabinet reshuffle as he appeared to try to change the perception of KANU, bringing in youthful faces in place of the old guard. Jirongo, together with former President Uhuru Kenyatta, were among those who benefited from the changes. Jirongo was appointed Minister for Rural Development, formerly a department within the Ministry of Planning and National Development. After KANU's rule came to an end in the 2002 general election, Jirongo formed the Kenya African Democratic Development Union, KADU, through which he reclaimed the Lugari parliamentary seat he had lost in 2002. In his bid to become Kenya's fourth president, Jirongo unsuccessfully vied for the Kakamega senatorial seat in 2013, losing to the eventual winner, Boni Halwale. In the 2017 general election, Jirongo vied for the presidency under the United Democratic Party. He garnered approximately 11,000 votes, which was 0.07% of the total presidential votes. However, with a repeat election being held after President Uhuru Kenyatta's win was contested in the Supreme Court, Jirongo managed 37,791 votes.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is the second hour of our news check. We want to focus on World Cancer Day that will be marked tomorrow, the 4th of February 2026, across the country, where we'll join the rest of the world in marking this particular feat. And you do know it is a day that is being observed every Wednesday of the 4th of February 2026. This year marks the second year where a 3-year theme has been going on. That is the United by Unique campaign 2025-2027. Given that Kenya faces a growing cancer crisis with approximately 44,000 to 47,000 new cases are reported on a daily basis. Over 27,000, 32,000 deaths have been reported annually, making it the third leading cause of death in this particular country. But the people who are greatly affected are the women of this nation, who are disproportionately affected with breast and cervical cancer as the leading types, while the men are primarily affected by prostate, esophageal cancer as well. The crisis is fueled by late-stage diagnosis, limited specialized care, and the rising lifestyle-related risks, especially within the urban settings. Joining us this particular morning to converse this particular issue is Dr. Joseph Mageto, the resident doctor at HCG Cancer Center. Welcome, Daktari.
Thank you so much, Abdiaziz.
And also, we're keeping tabs on other stories currently making headlines at this hour. As and when we get those particular links, we'll be sharing them with you, including where President William Ruto will preside over the launch of the National Electric Mobility Policy, where Alan Aoko is covering that particular event. As and when we get those links, we'll be sharing them with you. But Daktari, I want to start by asking, tomorrow we'll be marking as a country and joining the rest of the world in marking this particular day. What will be the significance of tomorrow?
Well, I want to say that tomorrow, as the World Cancer Day, is a day that reminds us as Kenya, as the world, that cancer is a big challenge all over the world. It affects everyone, it affects communities, it affects individuals, and we need to come together to fight this thing called cancer. Yes.
And you can see the country, we're facing this growing crisis of cancer. Tell us, given that wewe ni daktari, what are some of the contributing factors that are leading to the rise of these numbers?
Well, there's so many contributing factors. First of all, we need to understand that cancer is cells in our bodies growing at a very rapid rate, and they're not functioning as they're supposed to be. Some of the contributing factors to this cancer being an epidemic in our country involves many things. First of all, we look at environmental exposure. Some people are exposed to chemicals, maybe where they work, or maybe in the environment, maybe some pesticides, some fertilizers. Also, we do have what we call genetics, okay? There are some cancers that they are, people are affected based on their families. So, for example, some people with breast cancer, you might find that in their family, the mom had a breast cancer, the auntie had breast cancer. So these factors, they combine to make this an epidemic. And we need to understand that in our country also, we don't do a lot of screening and we don't do a lot of prevention. Okay? Most people, they only go to hospital when they feel sick. And now that makes it bad because they come to hospital when the cancer is already progressed. We're talking about stage 3, stage 4. And this makes it very tough to treat. Okay? Yeah.
And you see, major of the contribution when it comes to something that has fueled this number, you can see one of those issues is late diagnosis.
Yes.
So in terms of, because we know our culture, especially for us men, until you fall sick is the time you go to the hospital. Then what are some of those, let's say, symptoms that one can pick out to go to the hospital before it reaches that 3 or 4?
Okay, thank you. Well, I want us to understand that cancer in itself affects anywhere in the body. It can affect the brain, it can affect your small toe. Okay? So if we're talking about symptoms, there's so many symptoms which one person can have that might be indicative of cancer. But for, let's say, the top cancers in our country, that's like breast for women.
Yes.
You know, having a lump in your breast, okay? Having pain in your breast, having discharge from your breast. These are some of the signs for cancer, okay? For, let's say, for men, having problems urinating because the prostate has grown big due to prostate cancer. These are some of the signs that you need to look out for. For other cancers like cervical cancer, which also is very common in our country, having bleeding and discharge is not normal. So once you see such symptoms, you really need to go to the hospital. If you have difficulty, if you're losing weight, okay, difficulty swallowing, these are some of the signs and symptoms that you need to go to hospital. Yeah.
And in terms of lifestyle, given that the world is changing, how has lifestyle contributed in these figures that we're talking about in cancer, especially in a country?
Yeah, thank you. You see that our lifestyle has changed as in the country. We're trying to be more westernized. So we're looking at people smoking, okay, exposure to tobacco, cigarettes. This leads to having high cancer, okay? We're talking about shisha, we're talking about vaping, okay? These are risk factors that can make you get cancer, okay? Also, our diet has changed a lot. We're eating a lot of processed foods, okay? These are sausages, these are like salami and bacon. All these processed foods, what they use in making these processed foods or preserving them leads to also cancer. So we're looking, these processed meats, they've been graded as WHO grade 1, and most people don't know, but eating all this can put you at risk. Also, we're looking also at people not exercising. Okay, most people travel by cars and they don't go to, they don't exercise, and this can also put you at risk of getting cancer. Yeah.
And also in terms of the cases, we've seen majority of the cases are coming from urban centers,
yes,
and not in the rural. What could be propagating that difference?
As I said before, if you look at the urban centers, we have a lot of exposure, environmental exposure. Okay, we have people smoking, we have this environmental waste, okay, from factories, from homes that people are getting exposed to. Looking at the lifestyle also, people are living a sedentary lifestyle. They don't want to exercise. They walk a lot. They don't walk a lot. They don't go to the gym. So this contributes. Also the diet. If you compare the diet in the urban and the diet in the mashinani, it's very different, okay? A lot of our diet is very poor. We're eating processed foods. As I said before, the sausages, they also contribute to this, the smokies and all that, okay? So if you combine all this, you get now a higher risk compared to people who are living in mashinani.
Dr. you've just mentioned some of the best foods Kenyans do enjoy every day. So what do we eat at the end of the day?
Well, you see, the processed foods, I know they really taste good, but we also need to look at what they use in the preservatives. The preservatives they use in these foods. They use nitrates, and some of this, when they get into our body, they make the cells to grow rapidly, and this can lead to cancer. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. And of course, if you're just joining us, we're focusing on World Cancer Day that will be marked tomorrow, where Kenya will be joining the rest of the world to ensure that we discuss this particular issue. But first, before we continue with this particular conversation, I want to take you to a function that is currently happening in the capital, where the National Climate Outlook Forum prediction of the season weather focus is currently ongoing, with the theme of the two-day conference is from crisis response to climate preparedness. Let's listen in and hear what the Kenya Meteorological Department is saying in that particular.
So that they can anticipate, so that they can prepare well coming forth in the next 3 months what needs to be done. So we are happy that we have the agriculture, energy, various sectors. We have development partners who are going to support us even as we move towards the next 3 months. So we are hoping for the best, but also anticipating in case of anything that would happen, that we can prepare well for the people of Kenya, and we can address any concerns in a whole of government, whole of society approach, leaving no one behind, the vulnerable, the needy, so that everyone is really benefiting in the months to come. Yes.
Oftentimes when you have a long period, you experience flooding in most areas in the country, and some areas such as Murang'a we have mudslides. Are we prepared this time around to avert such incidents?
Yes, so we've been able to map out. What we are doing is being able to map out, engaging stakeholders where we are anticipating things like the landslides, etc., so that they are fully engaged and are preparing well. And as you've heard, it's really a multi-sectoral, whole of government approach when it comes to preparedness also, and also acting forward. So we are engaging, and what the information does is that from regional, it trickles down to national, down to county level, and to the ward level. We also have our experts at a county level who will now be working with the various sectors to ensure that everyone is well informed of the climate outlook and prepares well, so that we don't have any disasters in future.
You mentioned you were in Isiolo and the situation looks bad. Maybe you can give us a picture?
Yes, well, in Isiolo we were in a wetland region. and for the wetland area, you can see that because of the drought situation, communities are really moving to find, solitude to find something in the wetland area. And you see what that brings about is some conflict among various tribes and counties. So what we were encouraging is a joint meeting among the governors to see how all of them can, work together so that everyone benefits. But equally, how do we protect? Because when you look at the drought-prone regions, the ASAL regions, whatever wetland we have to ensure that we are protecting it fully, because it actually serves the ASAL region and the communities that would be impacted more. So that was really what it was all about. But you can see that the situation is dire. And what we are doing as a government is that we are ensuring that we are working together. We had special programs representation. We had our Waziri from ASAL region represented. We were able to distribute food to the vulnerable communities, and with the support from the commissioners to ensure that everyone, we are fully mapping everyone, and everyone is really benefiting from the current government, and really looking at other interventions that should come up, like climate smart agriculture, among others. So the communities were happy to see that the government is involved, the government is reaching on the ground. We are engaging with various cabinet secretaries, the technical teams, to ensure that the impact is felt on the ground, and that communities are not left there vulnerable. Food is reaching them, and addressing the issues of climate smart agriculture, and seeing how we can capacitate the communities at grassroots.
Yes, that is the Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza, who just attended a National Climate Outlook Forum where key stakeholders like the Kenya Meteorological Department are attending to give a seasonal weather forecast of the country. The CS has confirmed they are mapping out the country to understand what is happening, especially when it comes to climate conditions like landslides, and especially the ongoing drought that she has clearly stated the situation is dire in the ASAL regions, where the government has come in to distribute food and other reliefs to the people who have been affected. And of course, they have clearly stated that given that the ASAL regions are experiencing that particular drought, they will be moving in to areas of the wetlands, which she clearly stated could bring an element of conflict. She's speaking to the governors to ensure that is not the case, to ensure even the little resources that are there are shared among the people of those particular regions, especially from the ASALs to the wetlands. Our reporter Jal is following on that particular story and will tell us more in our subsequent bulletins. If you're still joining us right now, we're focusing on World Cancer Day that will be marked on the 4th of February 2026. That is tomorrow. And the theme continues for 3 years now, from 2025 to 2027. It comes to be the United by Unique. And maybe let me ask you, Daktari, why has the theme remained the same? What are you trying to achieve? Not only the institution that you represent and the many stakeholders are in this particular sector, but the theme has remained that way for the last 3 years. Why is it the case, if you know?
I think the theme United by Unique is a very broad theme, and it focuses on the patient. Okay, everyone who is diagnosed by cancer needs to receive individualized care. That means you get treatment as an individual. You're just not a statistic. You're just not a number in the books. You are an individual. You need to get treatment that is focused on you and how you respond to it. So that's the reason why for 3 years we've had the same theme. Cancer is what we call a chronic illness. Most people have it for a number of years, okay? And the journey itself is not easy. So we need to focus on the patient in terms of our treatment. Yes.
And now coming to the treatment itself, because you see when people hear, especially us as Kenyans, regular screenings, checkups, it involves money.
Yeah.
So how can we make it cheaper for people to go for these regular screenings?
So thank you so much. Currently, I'd like to say that our screening as a country is very, very low. We're having screening of less than 10% abroad across all the cancer, all the patients we have, which is very sad in our country. A lot of people, the ministry and a lot of organizations have really come and tried to make screening as cheap as possible. This includes getting partnerships with organizations. We also get, most facilities have, like our facilities, we do a lot of screening whenever we go to the community. So screening has been made cheaper. The materials we use for screening are also very cheap, okay? That's because of subsidization through government and also through just partnerships with different individuals, different organizations coming in and trying to make it cheap for everyone. So most places, when they go for screening, especially when people are going to the community, they're not charged at all. But if you go to hospital, you'd find that it might be less than 1,000 shillings, okay? Getting screened for all this cancer, all these cancers. So I think currently we are in a good place. We still need more people to go out and get screened, and we need to drive that screening. Yeah.
And what can be done? Because you've clearly stated there's a challenge of screening. What can be, is it the lack of awareness in the country? What is contributing to the low screenings?
I think the lack of awareness, though we've been having programs trying to encourage people to get screened, okay, women to get, like tomorrow, there'll be so many hospitals doing cancer screening. Like I think the whole of January and February, we've seen a lot of hospitals giving free screening, especially for cervix and breast screening. What can be done is we need to involve all the stakeholders, because prevention is better and it's cheaper compared to treatment. So we need to have everyone involved. We need to have the government, the stakeholders, the hospitals, the organizations, the NGOs to come in so that we can find a way to make it cheaper for everyone and also to create more awareness. We're still not there. We need to create more awareness. More people need to understand that screening doesn't mean you're going to get cancer. It just means we need to catch it early or to prevent it. Yeah.
And is there a difference between screenings and checkups?
Well, I'd say there is a difference. Well, when you say a checkup, checkup just means you're going to the hospital to see a doctor who will probably do a number of tests and examine you to find if you have any other conditions. But screening in itself, we're focusing it more on cancer. That means the doctor will also examine you. They'll also do a number of tests. And this is to either first to check if you have cancer or to prevent the cancer before it happens. So the difference is that for checkup, it's general, but screening is more to the cancer patients. Yeah.
And in terms of the advancements that we have made in this particular sector, treating this particular disease that has taken and robbed us of fathers, mothers, and even kids at the end of the day, what advancements have we made, not only as a country, but in this particular field globally?
We have really advanced in terms of advancements in cancer treatment, especially in our country. I'd focus more in our country because I'd say, I give an example in terms of just getting the diagnostics. About 10 years ago, our country didn't have any PET scan, and a PET CT scan is very important when we are trying to diagnose and also treat cancer. But currently, we have about 4 or 5 PET scans in the country. Okay, we're looking at newer techniques in treatment, like, for example, in non-invasive techniques like radiotherapy. Okay, we are seeing that nowadays we can do techniques that were never in our country. We are also having patients coming from other countries just to get treatment in our country. So you can see we're advancing at a really high rate. We're also looking at things like immunotherapy, things like targeted therapy. These were not there about 10 years ago. But currently in our country, we have facilities that are able to give you immunotherapy. They're able to give you non-invasive radiotherapy. And this helps in the treatment and survivorship of cancer. Yeah.
Now, you see, you've just talked about some of the ways that you can curtail that particular disease, but the issue with many Kenyans is the affordability of such treatments that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Aside from the social health authorities, key stakeholders such as yourself and other stakeholders who are in this particular medical field, what can be done to ensure that if if today I have cancer, I am confident enough the monies that I will be asked in those facilities will not make me sell my land, will not make me sell my house so that I can get that particular treatment.
I agree with you. Cancer treatment is very, very expensive. As I said, cancer is what we call a chronic disease. That means it stays for a long time. And all this time you probably need treatment, you probably need follow-up, you probably need some tests, and that contributes to it making it very expensive. I'd like to say that, okay, apart from SHA, but SHA has done a lot, especially in terms of treatment for the cancer patients. It has created accessibility, and it has also allowed people to get treatment without spending out of pocket. Well, there are other organizations like Faraja, which helps cancer patients who are not able to afford their treatment. They come in and they help patients to, they contribute some money to the patient, and the patient can be able to receive treatment.
And all that comes with a stigmatization which we have witnessed, because what are some of these myths that are associated with cancer you have heard as a doctor?
Oh, well, there's so many myths, especially involving around cancer. Some people believe cancer is witchcraft. Just because you're feeling or somebody's disfigured or you're very sick, some people would say it's witchcraft. No, it's not. It's just that you need treatment. And also, some people also believe cancer is contagious. Cancer is not contagious. That means if anyone in your family has cancer, your chances of getting cancer just being exposed to them is zero. Okay, and also cancer is not a death sentence. Most people think once you get diagnosed with cancer, you're done for. No, if you get diagnosed with cancer early enough, you can actually be treated for it. And for the advanced stages, I've seen people who have been on treatment for years, for 5 years, 10 years, and they're doing really well. So cancer is not a death sentence. Okay, if you can go to hospital, you can see doctors. And in our country, I can say, like in our facility, Cancer Care, we do have these techniques, we do have these treatments available for people, and people can live for longer.
And in terms of stigmatization, is there psychosocial support at the end of the day? Because you see these patients, even if they have been able to be cleared by the doctors that the cancer has been contained, you're free to go, still they're being stigmatized by the society. So is there psychosocial support afterwards? Because we know if somebody is stressed or have depressed, it can cause to low immunity.
That is true. That is true. Currently, we do have social support, but we're not where we really need to be as a country, though in some facilities it is available to the patients. You see, for cancer treatment, we're not focusing only on the medication. We're focusing on the patient as a whole. We're looking at the nutrition of the patient. Okay, we're looking at the mental health of the patient. We're looking at all these things, the community of the patient, where they're coming from, their caregivers. So it's very intense and intensive. We need to create more opportunities for patients to get this psychosocial support. There are many, as I said before, there are many organizations like Faraja, which we have partnered with, and they help with this, okay? For patients who are going through cancer treatment, they need all this, and Faraja is an NGO, they don't need to pay anything, and they can get access to all this. Yeah.
And back to the advancements that we have made, because many people have been asking and they have been clearly talking about it. Will we ever find a cure for cancer?
Well,
I know it's a mouthful, but because that is the hope of many other people.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
World. Yeah.
Well, what I can say is, I can't, but from where we're looking at, where we were 20 years ago in terms of cancer treatment all over the world, and where we are right now, the advancements are so big. I can't really point out and say there will be a cure for cancer in the future, but we are heading in the right direction. A lot of research is going on in terms of cancer treatment, and we are seeing positive results. Yeah.
And what are some of the challenges, like medics such as yourself and other people in your in this particular sector who are your colleagues? What are some of the challenges you're facing for you not to treat this cancer better?
Well, there's so many challenges, but I'd focus on a few. One of them is just having the human resource or the manpower to be able to diagnose and treat the cancer patients. We're still below, we're still really below the recommended in terms of specialists, in terms of nurses, in terms of doctors, nutritionists who are able to come in and treat these patients. Second is, well, Nairobi is privileged, but when we look at other areas across the country, just getting access for the patients to get access to the basic tests that we need to help us to diagnose the cancer is a challenge. We don't have enough labs. We don't have enough CT scans or enough machines to help us diagnose the cancer. So that becomes a challenge. And third thing is financing. Even though we have SHA, not many people are, not many people have subscribed to SHA, and that makes it very difficult. And asking them to pay money out of pocket and cancer treatment is very expensive. So we see it's a struggle for both the doctor and the patient. Yeah.
And what could be some of the solutions maybe you could have fronted to address some of those challenges you're just talking about?
The solutions are, we really need to train more people. We need to have more specialists in the country. We need to make sure that the mashinani areas, we have people who are trained to recognize and treat cancer. Okay. We also need to invest more, okay, in terms of labs, in terms of diagnostics. We need more machines to help us detect the cancer early. We need to invest more into the healthcare and also into cancer treatment. Yeah, so basically those are some of the solutions, but I'd also encourage, we really need to do a lot of awareness. We really need to have campaigns, I think even every month, just so that people can understand more about cancer. Okay? Yeah.
And in terms of the advancements that we have made aside from the medical side, but how has technology been key in helping you medics detect some of these diseases and possibly treat them?
I'd say that technology has come and has helped a lot. First of all, we're looking at newer methods that are more precise in diagnosing cancer. As I said before, we have PET CT scans in our country, which help us a lot in terms of understanding the cancer and how far it's gone. Second thing is we have newer methods of screening. Like for cervical cancer, we have the HPV DNA screening, which is something that you can do it at home. it's faster, it's more convenient. We're also looking at the newer drugs that work faster, that have little side effects to the patient. And they work better. So all this coming in, we're looking at the advancements are really big and they're really good.
And we know the negative side of technology itself, because we have seen many people rushing to Google instead of asking you. So what are the dangers of that?
The dangers of that is, first of all, you might get wrong information, because as you see, Google gives you general results. They don't really give you data that is already reviewed. So anyone can just post anything, and that might give people the wrong impression, okay? A lot of myths and misconceptions come from people just going online and just Googling, and you get all these people talking about ways in which you can treat cancer or without medication or doing other different things. So it's very dangerous, because this is not proven data. You need to go to the hospital where there is a doctor or where there is a specialist who has been trained for that.
And in terms of linking up, what are the needs of the market, especially you doctors, linking the market and the universities where people get those degrees and study for many years, we know 7 to 8, even 8 years. In terms of linking those two to ensure that the services that you offer as a doctor is something that you had studied in the classrooms, is there that bridge between the curricula and what you're practicing?
Currently the curricula is very, because when we are looking at cancer treatment, it needs a specific specialist. And in our country, currently we have training for specialists who treat cancer. We have specialists, nurses who are going as specialists in treatment of cancer. So in terms of training right now, we do have adequate training for cancer treatment, but I'd say we need to increase the number of universities that offer this training. Currently, I think it's the University of Nairobi only offering the specialty training, but we still need more universities to be funded to come up and train.
Because the reason I was asking that question, you said you are not many in this particular field. Is it that people do not want to venture in this field, or there are so many to the extent they do not have job opportunities within the market?
There are not many. I'd say that, first of all, as you said, it takes a long time to train. That's like 6 years to do the general medicine, and then 4 more years to specialize. That's about 10 years in terms of training. The training is also very expensive, and we need also the government to employ more of the specialists, okay? Because we have the specialists, but some of them are still not employed.
And given that we're entering the final leg of our conversation, maybe give us experiences, because I know you have worked with cancer patients. Maybe tell us those uplifting stories that you saw and you were able to treat at the end of the day, and how they're currently responding to the society, how they are working, without even revealing, of course, the patient's name because of confidentiality.
There's so many stories I can give you. I've worked with patients for the last 4 years who are diagnosed with cancer. You'd meet just a lady who has breast cancer, and at first she comes in, she's scared, she's thinking, is it the end for me? And then they just start treatment, and you can see the response to treatment is very positive, okay? They're also, once they do all the treatment and they do all the scans, and the cancer they don't have cancer anymore, it's one of those stories where you really feel good, and you can see the advancements we have in our country in terms of cancer treatment. So most people who are diagnosed with cancer, it is usually a very scary diagnosis. You can see how it affects them, but with enough support, enough social support, enough medical support, you can see patients taking treatment and living for longer cancer-free. Yeah.
Now, the other question, going back to academia and what the market needs, in terms of brain drain, we know majority of the doctors, if they do not find opportunities here, they normally go abroad, especially they like going to the United Kingdom, even the exchange between Kenya and countries such as Cuba. So do you fear that that we'll lose more doctors going outside the country, yet we do have a need for them here?
That is one of our greatest challenges, because as you can see, with the delays in, let's say, posting of the doctors and employment, most people tend to look for greener pastures, because now you've trained for, let's say, 8 years or 10 years, and you still can't find a job. Well, there are other opportunities abroad. So we really want to, if it's possible for the government and all the stakeholders to come in and address the issue, will be really good, especially for the people of Kenya.
And as we wind up, talk to us about, given that you clearly stated there are a lot of challenges in that particular sector, is there a miss where we're missing policy, or is it that the policies are there not being implemented? And also talk to us about the issue of, we're talking about the specialization of this particular field as we wind up.
Well, in terms of policy, currently what I know is the government and all the stakeholders are actually trying to create policies that are beneficial in terms of cancer treatment. We have organizations like the NCI, the National Cancer Institute. They are involved actively in trying to create these policies. And they have brought in all the stakeholders, they've brought in all the specialists, and we are all trying to just come in and find the best way we can treat cancer.
Okay, give us now your final remarks, given that Kenyans are watching you right now. And of course about tomorrow as well.
So I'd like to emphasize that, one, we need to go for screening. We need to go to hospital for screening. For ladies, breast screening and cervical screening. I also want to mention that we have the HPV vaccine for women, and it helps prevent cervical cancer. So that is very important. I'd also want to say that cancer, getting a cancer diagnosis is not a death sentence. Most people, if it's detected early, you can get treatment and you can live a normal life. Thank
you so much. Dr. Joseph Mageto, he is a resident doctor at HCG Cancer. Thank you for making time for us. And of course, we are waiting to see how the Awareness Kenya will join the rest of the world in marking that particular feat. You've just heard from the doctor, it is not a death sentence with the advancements that have been made, not only in treatment, but in terms of the awareness itself of this particular disease. It is not a death sentence. He's urging many of us to go for those screenings, and we should not take granted those screenings, because at the end of the day, early detections mean it could be prevented better. That concludes our conversation this morning. Tomorrow we'll be having a 2-hour session as well, so do join us. We'll be revealing some of the topics on our social media platforms, so go there so that you can, even if you want to rewatch the first segment and the second segment, you can go to our YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Mora. Don't go too far. Khalid Abdullah is up next with Kurunzi Mashinani.
Slavery and human trafficking are still a huge problem worldwide, and only a few clicks away on social media. On Facebook, human traffickers mislead migrants, promising them lucrative jobs in industrialized countries. And on TikTok, so-called coyotes offer help in crossing the US border, but in very dangerous ways. How are they doing this? Over 2.5 million people were apprehended by the United States Border Patrol in 2022. Many of them were brought into the country by so-called coyotes. These are smugglers in the lucrative organized crime network that transport people and goods across the Mexico-US border in collaboration with cartels. They charge between $3,000 and $75,000 to bring someone across, and accessing their illicit services is easier than ever, all thanks to social media.
Welcome to the dark side of TikTok. Here, smugglers advertise their services, and they do it in plain sight, just as you see on screen. Comment sections are chock full of requests for more information. They are then invited to chat privately. These posts are easy to find. Just a quick search for Viajes a Estados Unidos Garantizados, guaranteed trips to the USA. The sheer volume of videos is shocking, even for migration expert Guadalupe Correa Cabrera.
I mean, I was like, how coyotes are using TikTok? But then I realized that TikTok was very important for coyotes to increase their business. It's becoming a very important facilitator.
The videos are usually simple. A few pictures of travelers, of a city in the US, and a message to assure future customers. It's an industry that's also flourishing on Facebook. On the platform's marketplace, ads for people smugglers appear alongside ads for used cell phones and cars. Facebook Marketplace makes it easy to get in touch with the sellers. A direct and private chat is just a click away. However, Correa Cabrera tells us the platform is mainly used to seek out information, not for payment.
A number of times, they get information about the fees, about the routes. It's an information purposes. And many of these, transactions are basically done through WhatsApp, more than anything.
TikTok and Facebook's guidelines forbid posts that promote people smuggling, but the platforms are rife with them. What's more, the platforms profit directly. Posts might contain advertising, meaning Facebook gets a cut every time people search for coyotes and their services.
There are many routes refugees and migrants use on their way to the US. Most commonly, travelers make the journey from Colombia through the Darien jungle to Panama before crossing Mexico to reach the US. Tips on making the perilous journey are now also coming from the migrants themselves. Many refugees post their experiences on social media, almost like tutorials, racking up millions of likes and views.
But just how difficult is the jungle crossing from Colombia to Panama in reality? That's what Manuel Monterosa from Venezuela and Ankush Malik from India wanted to find out. The pair have become influencers, giving tips like how to avoid ambushes and gangs in this region, known as the Darien Gap. Both have attracted tens of thousands of followers. Manuel Monterosa now earns enough from social media that he's moved back. He now lives in his home country of Colombia. Ankush Malik has stayed in the US since emigrating there. Now he shows his followers what his new life is like in the land of opportunity.
Earning money from advice on unauthorized and dangerous immigration, that might be questionable. But human traffickers use social media to make money too. They lure people in a vulnerable position abroad with false promises. We found out more about how they do it.
Many traffickers use dating apps, social media, and encrypted messengers to ensnare victims, promising love and a better life. It's called the Loverboy method. Aside from the Loverboy method, the German anti-trafficking network KOK found that traffickers use fake online job offers. KOK interviewed people from West Africa and Europe who became victims in Germany. Once they arrived, their traffickers took their documents. They were then forced into jobs or sex work against their will. The traffickers also used common tracking apps to monitor their victims.
Apps that are used for best purposes, like when parents want to know the belonging of their child, they would install an app that would map and track via GPS and inform the parents on the unaware of the child. But the same device or the same app can be used by a trafficker to have control of the victim and know where he or she is.
Traffickers also use digital wire transfers like Bitcoin to collect their earnings, making the flow of money very hard for authorities to track. Mobile networks and phones offer the traffickers secure anonymity.
It's a brutal and illegal business that exploits and traumatizes vulnerable people. The UN estimates that up to 50 million people worldwide live in slavery-like conditions. More than half of them are subjected to forced labor. Even people who enter another country legally can become victims. In certain countries in the Middle East, the so-called kafala system fosters exploitation. There, foreign housekeepers or construction workers have hardly any rights. In order to work, job seekers need a local guarantor, who is often their employer. This puts employers in a position of great power. Nevertheless, the prospect of better pay is tempting for many. There are currently 5,000 videos under the hashtag #GulfJobs on TikTok alone. According to TikTok's own analysis, they have already been viewed 54 million times. But what is a job like under these conditions? We spoke to an activist who has lived it herself.
Deborah Nyanchoka is finally home. This time, she's bringing other survivors with her. They are 3 of more than 100,000 Kenyan women who have worked as maids in the Gulf states.
After I came back, I had promised myself, like, if I make it out of this country, I'm going to become a spokesperson for those people who can't speak for themselves.
Deborah lived in her employer's home in Saudi Arabia, working 18 to 20 hours a day. She says her employer refused to take her to the hospital when she got sick.
She could say, you are just faking everything. You're not sick. So it became that I became more weak, and then I decided, like, I'm not going to wait to die.
She went to the bathroom to make a WhatsApp call for help, but fainted before she could dial out. 3 hours later, her employer came to find her.
She took a packet. There's a packet that was in the bathroom. I used to use it for cleaning. She just took the tap water 3 times full, and she just poured to me 3 times. And then she locked the door and went away.
Deborah Nyanchoka passed out again. When she came to, she gathered enough strength to send a voice note to her Kenyan agent, who forced the family to take her to the hospital. But after just 1 day, she was sent back to work.
The following day, I came back and continued with the work like nothing happened. So I started now seeing life differently in that house.
70% of the Kenyan women who do domestic work abroad go to Saudi Arabia. 9% go to Jordan. Others go to Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Lebanon, and other Gulf states like Bahrain.
For my case, there was kind of slight mistreatments, like you're not given enough food, or sometimes you're totally not given food. But then I didn't see it as much mistreatment like the other ones who are beaten.
According to the Kenyan aid organization Haki Africa, in 2020 alone, there were more than 51 complaints of abuse from Kenyan domestic workers based in Gulf countries. Most of these women had found their jobs via TikTok and WhatsApp.
According to the UN, women and children are especially at risk when it comes to modern slavery. This often happens through forced marriages, for example. Social media can sometimes also help those affected to defend themselves. Deborah Nyanchoka became an activist after experiencing abuse. Now she is helping people escape exploitative employers, even though it puts her in danger.